Greetings, YouTube. The other day, my friend Skall did a video on weapons. Now, I've covered the topic of weapons many times. I've shown off my weapons collection. I've done videos about new weapons as I've acquired them. I did one yesterday about a knife I picked up just yesterday in the mail. A Mora knife companion. I've talked about weapon bans, about the utility of tools and things like that. But Skall's really covering in his video why we collect them, why we own them, the, if you will, philosophical reasons behind our acquisition of tools and weapons. And so I thought I'd hop on the bandwagon. Who doesn't love a video response? When I was a child, for those that don't know this, and you may have come to this video from out of the blue and have no idea who I am, I was raised by an abusive alcoholic. And at 12, I acquired my first tool/weapon, a classic Victorinox Boy Scout knife, which I think I've lost, which is kind of a pity, because I have had fond memories of that blade. And it was a tool. It was a very poor weapon. But it represented something. It represented the ability to defend myself. Now, it would have been absurd for me to use this as in the situation I was in. It would have gotten me killed. But it represented something. And even though at 14, the abusive alcoholic in my life left, I still had the need to feel that sense of security. And I had acquired a number of weapons between 12 and 14, and over time I continued to acquire them. And at some point, the need for defense fell by the wayside. And my interest in the tools and the weapons that I was acquiring became an interest in it of itself. I became academically fascinated by the items. I enjoyed the items as a physical object. They became more than a psychological crutch, and they became a hobby. And I began to acquire reference books on the topic, and now I have 3 shelves of them in the other room. I think I have more reference books than the city library does on this particular topic. And that became a lifelong pursuit. And as tools, I've carried a blade every single day of my life since I was 12, so for 35 years. And I only have been without a knife when things like I had to go into a federal building or a courthouse or something like that. I did not wear my multi-tool during my wedding, but I did wear my knife when I got married. My wife was nice enough to realize that that is still a symbol of who I am. It is the ultimate tool. It is the first true tool ever created by man, the knife. Though I need to get myself a flint knap blade. I don't have one. And now it's simply something that I find fascinating. And I've got a closet full of weapons, and they've got swords hanging on my walls. I've got a club hanging on my desk here, because I find it interesting. And that's what I have evolved into as a weapons collector. It's become more than just some crutch. It's become an academic pursuit. It's become a love of the science behind them, from stone tools to the metallurgy behind modern weapons, to why they were created, how countermeasures were developed in swords, and it was shields and armor, and how one weapon led to the invention of another type of weapon, and things like that. I find all of that fascinating, both from a purely real-world purpose, and because I am a player of role-playing games. Those shelves behind me are all role-playing games. How they apply in the tabletop role-playing genre. So pretty much that's why I'm interested in weapons, because they're fascinating, and because there are times when you need a tool, and this is a tool, and a firearm is a tool. It's just a unitasker. But though if you need a firearm and you don't have one, there isn't any real replacement.